Well, hello everyone. Today's video is a dive into my 60-inch LG TV that isn't that old, that quit working, and it may help you fix yours. There are a lot of similar videos on it, but this is going to be a little bit different. Now, you can find videos on the YouTube and Rumble and other places which will show you how to tear it back off and clean the connection, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. My background is in electrical engineering and electronics way back in the 80s, and we used to clean off computer cards because they're low voltage and they would get a little dusty and dirty, and you'd have to take them off, clean the little cards. We used to use red rubber erasers, but since the pencil was just about dead, they're hard to find. We just take a little bit of smoothness and just rub across those gold plates on the cards, edge cards, and put them in there, and they'd work. And that's usually about all it is, because you have to have a certain amount of voltage to get it across, oxidation, like power has, like your electricity has in your wall, but your electronic devices don't have that much voltage on it, so they don't do it. So they can give them a number of years, they can go out. My TV sits in one big, huge room, which also doubles with the kitchen sink and the dishwasher and everything in that area, so it may have a little bit more moisture to it. It may have oxidation a little bit sooner. Maybe you have something like that, or you have an upstairs rec room that you don't run the air conditioner a lot, so it stays humid up there. These are the type of things that can make your pens and stuff dirty. Now, the original TV I replaced was a little 46-inch Philips, but it was old style. I think it was LCD with a backlight. Beautiful picture, just super duper heavy, like 46 pounds or something like that. It was enormous, very thick body, pooched off the wall quite a bit, and it of course had a wide bezel, wide frame around it, so it took up a lot of space on the wall. Well, when I looked to replace it, because one day, about 6 months before it died, it just started hinking up just a little bit, little glitches, and then one day I went pop, and it was dead as a mackerel. And just not probably worth fixing. It's about a $2,500 TV. I bought it on sale for $19, give tax to it, so about $2,000, $2,150, something like that. 16 years, it's done its job, it's earned its rest. So I looked in different brands of these LED TVs, which were phenomenally cheap. So I looked at the same size picture class as I had, and now that they're kind of more edge to edge, very thin bezel, the 46-inch actually kind of looked a little small when I put my tape measure against the wall. So I was planning on getting the 50-inch class, because it's about physically just about the same size as my old 46-inch was. But when I went to the store to look at them with my own little peepers, the smaller one looked beautiful. That 500 plus TV that I went to get, the 50-inch class, it looked good, but it was dim. It was not very bright. And I compare that to the 60-inch class. 60-inch looked real good, and the little one looked real good, but the one I went to buy didn't look so great. And sometimes in the TV stores, I've been told, I don't know that it's true, but I've been told that what people will do is they'll take the one they want you to look at to get you in the store, and they'll adjust that picture down so it just doesn't look as good compared to the next most expensive model that they have. And so sometimes you play with the controls and make them look beautiful too, because they've been made non-beautiful, so that you go, hey, $250 more, I'll buy the 60-inch, which is kind of what I did, because I tried to play with that remote control and get that picture. I couldn't get that 50-inch class LG TV to look right, so I bought the 60, and it sat on the wall, looked huge for a while, and then you get used to it. It's so when I got it home, I plugged it up. I wasn't happy with it, but I wasn't dissatisfied enough to take it back. Couldn't find anything better for that price. But it wasn't uniform in blackness. It looked like it had little lines or whatever in the back in places. So it'd be like super black and maybe a little bit more gray. So the uniform blackness wasn't there in the back of the picture. But as long as you had something moving in motion, you wouldn't notice it. Like a regular watching a TV, video movement, wouldn't see it. It's only if you had something stop or freeze frame the video, pause or something on that, you would see it was off a little bit. Inside of a year, I started to get like a little blue haze in one of the corners, and it wasn't too bad. And as long as it was moving, kind of like the darkness, the different shades to gray and black, you didn't notice that until it started to get bad. And then I called LG, And they said, no, we're not going to fix it because it's out of warranty, too far out of warranty. Even though you're a great customer, we're not going to fix it. So I got irritated. Now we've had the year of Rona. It's seen a lot more hours. Those LEDs and the backlight have turned blue. And even as irritating as that is, I fiddle with the tint to get a little more red. I'm cheap, I'm sorry. Then it started where it wouldn't even stream. It started, everything was going out. It wouldn't respond. So at that point I got junk. And so I decided to take it apart and clean the connections. Because again, I was using an Ethernet hardwired cord, which is on that motherboard, on that main board. And even it wouldn't maintain contact. Maybe 15 seconds or so, it would quit and buffer and stop, and we can't reach this or whatever. So I took it apart, cleaned the contacts. And that's what we're getting ready to see. This. I'll show you the back of the TV and let you look at them. There's not much to them. There's not much you can do to ruin it when it gets to the point it doesn't work. So you might want to try it. Unplug it, take it off the wall, unplug it, work on it. Now in the connectors, there are several videos I went and looked online to see connections, see how they clean there, see what they did, see how often this was a problem. Found out it was a significant problem for LG and Samsung and several other name brands, I guess, that they make for those non-name brand, those store brands. One of the guys was using like liquid air or compressed air, and that's okay. We used to have a cleaner like that for computers, but it had non-residue. So if you want to use a spray cleaner, make sure yours doesn't leave that white, dusty looking film, because you're trying to clean them, not leave something on there. Not just blow huge chunks of dust bunnies off your keyboard. So I don't use that. What I use on the box type connector, of course, you have to find your little clip. Yours can be, it could be on the PC board, it could be on the cable itself. But when you put them together, there's going to be a strain relief on there. Figure yours out, pull it out. But just pull it off, seat it back on. Pull it off, seat it back on. Do that about 3 to 5 times. And that mechanical nature of just pushing onto those pins will kind of scrape any of that oxidation that you probably will have on those connectors. And you'll probably see those more on the power connectors, or audio connectors, rather than something like the low voltage signal connectors, the ribbon connection. The ribbon connections work pretty good. It's hard to clean the actual socket part, female part of it, but you can get that off. There'll be some kind of a clamp to keep them down. Pull that off, clean those off. I use 91% alcohol with a cotton swab with the cotton wool on the end of a stick, and just kind of brushed along the lines of the ribbon. Let it fully evaporate and dry off. Put her back together, see if it works. It didn't work before, you haven't really heard it much. When I put mine back together, it wouldn't. I'd have audio, but it wouldn't work. No video, so I had to take it back apart, check one of my connections, check them all, make sure they're all in there good. Got them perfect the second time around, put her back together, and we have picture. And it looks like this. So if you'll hang around when I get me some parts from China to get here, we're going to take a chance on breaking this TV permanently by changing the backlights. Now, I looked on, I don't know if you know about Shop Jimmy, it's a little TV parts place. Shop Jimmy can give you replacement LEDs for this $750 TV, which is about a third of what that old one cost, about $150. No, OEM parts are about $150. Their parts were about a half of that, about $80, and then I bought some LEDs off of eBay for $37. I figure I'll give it a try for $37. What the heck? Because I'm pretty irritated with the blue screen at this point in time. So here's a little short cell phone video of what the back of the TV looks like. And just remember, on some of those connections, I prefer just to plug them on and off about 5 times to scrape them. Do the same thing. The ribbon connections are easy enough to kind of wipe them off with some 91% alcohol. Let it evaporate. Put them in there. Check your connections. Don't be shy, but be careful. Okay, I've taken the back off this TV, which is an LG, whatever this is, 6560U. I don't know what it is. I look on the front. I'll post it if it ever works again. So what I had in mind was just I'll pull it apart, clean the connection, see if that helps. It's been getting completely worse as time goes on. Now it will not run
through the internet. The internet keeps blocking and chopping and falling apart and locking out and no contact. It can't find the Wi-Fi. So all I was stuck with was Ethernet. And Ethernet didn't work for a long time. We got the Ethernet working and the Wi-Fi quit. So I'm just about had it with LG. Now I like LG. Most of my appliances are LG. I've had a lot of LG phones. I've had a lot of enjoyment out of the company, but apparently they just don't care anymore. So what we do is, by the way, these are speakers and they just come up. They have little rubber feet here that you pry open and it'll come off and you'll have a little tab, stick it up under. You'll know it's a speaker because it looks like a speaker. Now we do have these two jumpers. These are ribbon connectors. They're hard to get to. You'll have to take that small Torx head out and then open the friction holder or the clamp, whatever you want to call it, on this ribbon connector, and you can clean those. I clean them with alcohol. Did the same thing with these. I got a little bit better access to these two. I didn't mess with the on and off connection because I can turn on and off by remote control, and that's just a manual button. Also, I have another set down here, so I'm assuming the panel has 3 of these panels underneath the main one, underneath this big assembly. So this, I'm guessing, is the power supply, since that is where the power comes in. And of course, we look like we have some regulators and transformers and other things of this nature. Looks like some chokes, some Torrid chokes type thing there, come across, and it feeds over here to the actual processor board. It has everything, I guess, in it to drive it with. You'll recognize the video and the antenna and all of that. So I just cleaned them off. If you lift up this little brown piece, and then you can pull the ribbon connector out. Clean those off as best I could. This type of mechanical connector, I just pulled them off, each one of them, wiggled them a little bit and reseated them, because quite honestly, nothing in, if I remember my engineering school and then the technical school before that, below 24 volts, you don't have enough voltage to arc across oxidation. So just give it enough time and you'll get a little oxidation build up on some of the contacts. So I just clean off what I can on the ribbon connector. I don't really have an appropriate means to get in there to clean off the connector itself. So just maybe take off half of it. Maybe it'll get me a new lease on life, or maybe it will convince me to junk this LG 60-inch TV. There I have my little high-tech devices that carry my solvent, my 91% or whatever this is here, 91% isopropyl alcohol. Just use it as a solvent to clean off any dust or slight oxidation. Now we'll put it back together, and maybe it works. And if it works, you'll see this on YouTube. If you don't, you'll see the TV in a dumpster. Of course, after I have to pay my disposal fees.